It would appear some assembly required. Oh. Hey, friends, revolutionaries! Was at my local dollar store the other day, and if the quotation marks doesn't give it away, dollar store, not the everything is a dollar, but the not everything is a dollar store. I was at the local dollar store the other day, just picking up some things, and recently, especially since I started doing videos again, I've really started taking a look at some of those old haunts. Some of the places where I go to find some things and, kind of see what I might have missed, what new nifty little things might be out there. And I had seen transforming robots at this dollar store before. The cheapy transforming robot. I think the one that stands out is the bootleg Constructicons, the G1 Constructicons, the bootleg versions that were there a few years back. I remember those. But this is the first time I have seen, and they may have had them for a while, but it's the first time I've actually seen officially licensed Hasbro Transformers for $5. $5. I had to give it a shot. I had to give it a shot because I mean, it's Hasbro's Transformers. These typically run pretty pricey. With the what is it, the core class figures, they've got the Beast Wars and Beast Machine characters, they've got Prime and Megatron. I think Starscream just came out, so it's something where they got the core class figures coming, the smaller size core class, but apparently these authentic Transformers Authentics, It's so real. I know you found them at the dollar store, but they're so real, we had to tell you they're authentic. But yeah, for these figures, I figured we had to take a look. The core class run about $10. Grimlock here. Oh, and that's who we're taking a look at. Autobot Grimlock. Sorry, I got caught up in just the moment. That these Transformers, these officially licensed Hasbro Transformers, were at the dollar store for $5. For $5, we got a Grimlock. I gotta take a look. I really want to take a look, see if this really is a decent Transformer that kind of, lives up to Hasbro quality, or if this is just garbage. I gotta take a look. The packaging, just take a look at the packaging. We've got a great picture of Grimlock, which is probably nothing like what we'll get when we get him out of the pack, but a very cool Grimlock portrait. Got just the white banner on the side saying Transformers with the foot showing Autobot Grimlock and the alt mode, his T-Rex mode for 6+. On the back, we've got the robot mode in black and white, and the exact same picture of the alt mode, but in black and white as well. Which I'm sure that's not just for cost cutting. I'm sure the black and white probably hides a bit of stuff as well. But we'll see. We will see. It has a little bit of a write-up, which I don't think the core class, I've got to look at one of the two of them that I have, but I don't think the core class gives any kind of write-up. Here, you do get a little something. You get Legendary Autobot King. And 8 steps. Includes figure and instructions. It's almost a shame. It's a Grimlock figure without his sword. I always kind of figure Grimlock should always have his sword. But yeah, again, very simple packaging. Nothing to get too excited about. But let's see if the $5 figure, let's see if a $5 Grimlock actually is worth the $5. Stick around, everybody. We'll pop him out of his pack, take a look, and have some fun. Be right back. All right, we've got the leader of the Dinobots out of his pack, and wow, this is actually not a bad Grimlock. It really isn't. For the price point, I was expecting a lot more sacrifices in terms of the transformation, the quality of the plastic, just overall. I figured there was something that was going to be obviously just deficient. It was just going to be missing something critical, but really, overall, I would say if there's anything that's missing, it's just the articulation. It's not a stiff figure. I think that that just a little more articulation, maybe a couple of places, particularly here on the legs. Well, jumping right into it, aren't we? First off, I think he's a great looking figure. I think the interpretation of the robot Grimlock, they nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. Taking a look at the face. Really great look on the face. Got that, iconic gold upper body, red lower torso, black legs, and the gray for his the lower legs. When it comes to a G1 Grimlock, I think they nailed it. They completely nailed it. Even to the point where his transformation mimics the original Grimlock's transformation. And I think a lot of Grimlocks do, but they did a great job bringing it over onto such a small figure. Looks really good. I think the sculpt on the figure, in terms of the panels and just the mechanical devices, like the inside there no need to sculpt the inside of the panel there, or the inside of the legs like this. There really isn't a whole lot of need for it, but they did. And it's appreciated, and it looks great. It looks really good. And as I say, it does have some shortcomings, and we'll talk about them. But first, just to admire the figure, the robot mode. Just be able to say that, yes, this is a good Grimlock. This is a good figure. The robot mode is good. The alt mode is good too. Not as much, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. The articulation, the head is on a ball joint. So you have your left, right, up, down, full range of movement on the head. The shoulder comes up, out. So you get a little bit of the articulation. Not as much as you might think with a ball joint. Oop. Easy fix. Not as much as you might think on a ball joint, but it is there. The elbows / knees, this one very loose. I think a drop of clear nail polish will probably tighten that up, but out of the pack, very loose on this side. Just fine here, no problems here. A little loose here, make it a little bit difficult to get him posed in dinosaur mode. That's an easy fix. That's an easy fix. One thing that getting into the sculpt of him, the hands, you can see there's his thumb, there are his fingers, and there's the port for him to hold a weapon, and it's on a ball joint, but that ball joint only gives you about that much movement, not much at all. I think if they sculpted the hand 90 degrees so that this is how the arm would have been posed, see all the difference in the world. Huge, huge difference. Yeah, you would have had his big claw foot sticking out of the side, but I would have accepted that as opposed to the very limited elbow and knee articulation that we get here. Personal choice, personal call. Whoever made that call, I think this would have been the better way to go. The the torso in general, the upper and lower torso, all one piece, so there's no twist, no articulation. You can actually see where the paint line is, and it's not as clean as you would like, but from half an arm's length away, I don't think anybody's going to notice or anybody's going to make a fuss over it. And it really does a lot to convey kind of that Grimlock image. Got the gold and the red. Got the nice clean Autobot symbol there on his chest. Even got the silver trim around there. Been nice if we would have gotten that on the arms here, but again, we'll talk about that. The legs, the upper legs are on a ball joint, and you get quite a bit of articulation on the upper legs. So the lower legs are just on a hinge, and as you saw before, they're hollow, so there's really nothing there in the foot per se. His knee pads that come up and then kind of the spike actually form his tail, and just because you can't make them too long means you are going to get kind of a stubby tail. So in terms of the robot mode, fantastic job. Great robot mode. It is going to be at the cost of the alt mode, but not terribly. We'll take a look at it. He is a little back heavy, of course, with his backpack and his head. He does tend to be a little back heavy. I do normally recommend that if you move the shoulders forward, that can mitigate the weight a little bit. He says, after having it balanced just fine earlier. And I think that if you have an accessory to put in his hand, that'll make all the difference as well. I don't have one on hand, but I'm sure it will. He comes with his little booklet here for ages 6, Transformers, Autobot, Grimlock. There are the steps to transform him. Got it. Good. We'll take a look. So, starting off with the legs. There's a clip here, and there's a little peg with a hole there, which don't really hold together all that well. I mean, you can bring them together, but once you fold it over, once you fold this, well, before we get to his legs, let's talk about the backpack. The hinge on the head, this right here, once this is on, it comes separate. Once it's on, it's great. It holds no problems. These two hinges, this butterfly-like hinge, there we go. This one pops off constantly. It constantly pops off. I've taken some super glue, put a few drops in there, let it dry. But even with that, this hinge, this is probably the weakest part right here. I'm sure, again, with little, clear nail polish, you can mitigate the problem. Goes right back on. That was probably off screen. Don't worry, it gives us a chance to show it off again. But yeah, this hinge right here, not so much on this side, but this one right here is really bad. I mean, once it's in robot or dinosaur mode, you don't have to worry about it because it's in place. But it's the transformation. This hinge during transformation really wants to pop off quite a bit. But the whole assembly is on a hinge here that you kind of lift up, and then you bring the legs together and back, and you can see how it comes apart. And again, they don't really hold together even once you get them in dinosaur mode. See, that just does not tab together very well. The peg holds okay. But yeah, that tab's not going to hold on. It's not going to hold on great. The hands, if you take them and twist it so that the claws are facing down or forward and down, like so. And then just like G1 Grimlock, you just close up his chest around his head. And closes up like so. There's a tab there. Head pops in. And the stubby little arms I mentioned before, just sculpted in there, almost lost among all the other panels. That's why that silver paint that they used on the waist, it might not be a bad idea if you wanted to. I may do this myself, to go through and just highlight those arms just so they stand out a little bit. They won't move, but at least you can see that they're there. And again, just to mention, you get the great panels and sculpting. Jaw doesn't open, but you can see his teeth. Little horns on his nose. And like I said, the little stubby tail. Get him standing. And we have ourselves a Grimlock. The T-Rex Grimlock. As I was saying, if the tail had been a little longer, there's a way they could have had the tail come out a little bit further, and if the arms had been a little more, had been brought out a little bit more, were a little more obvious, I think this would have been a fine alt mode. As it stands, it's the weaker of the two. But still not bad. Still not too bad at all. I would certainly say that if you're a Transformers fan, if you like to have, you know, something to kind of just fuss around with, you know, at your desk at work, or, you know, if you've got kids and you're going to the beach, going on vacation, you know, and you want something that you can have with you that you don't have a big investment in, this is real good. Grimlock is certainly one I would certainly recommend taking a look at. Really nice. I think that for the price point, it's understandable, but a hinge at the head, a twist of the head would be nice. A hinge to make his head come down would be really nice, because if we got that, with that, we could have gotten a real G1 Grimlock, kind of the Godzilla style Grimlock with his head facing straight forward. That would have been cool. That would have been really nice to see. As it is, though, I think he looks really good. You know, he's kind of transformed it pretty well. It's not like his head is poking out somewhere. It's properly hidden. Everything looks appropriately Tyrannosaurus Rexy-ish. So yeah, I think that for a dollar store Transformer, Hasbro's quality definitely shows through. It definitely shines through. This is a good bot. Now the concern is that, again, Grimlock has come out pretty well. There is a Optimus Prime, a Megatron, a Bumblebee, and a Starscream, all from the same series. Are they going to be as good as Grimlock is? I don't know. Grimlock is setting a pretty high bar for them to meet, but we'll take a look at those in time. For now, I hope you enjoy watching. If you get a chance to go by a dollar store, take a look. If you see Grimlock, don't think, oh, it's just a dollar store Transformer. It's, you know, probably pretty cheap. It's actually not too bad. I think you may actually have some fun with it. But in the meantime, again, thanks for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, join the revolution. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.